Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 61 of our Move the Needle podcast series. I am Matthew Blades.
Steve Pets.
And boy, is today a completely different day for us. This is something we have never done before, where we literally found out 5 minutes before we started rolling tape today who was going to be our guest on this podcast today.
Yes, and so for me, again, completely new experience.
Yes.
And so
You feel like you're outside your comfort zone right now?
Yes, I do. But so hopefully gonna get comfortable pretty quick, because I know we've got an expert over here right next to me, so she's gonna make it easy for me.
Let me give everybody a little bit of the lay of the land. So we're at an event that's called Noted. It's put on by Key Real Productions. And the whole idea behind Noted is that they bring in people who consider themselves to be speakers and are actively pursuing more and more opportunities to speak in front of groups. And they bring them together for one gigantic workshop. And so we've been doing all kinds of things today. We've been doing stage activities. We've been doing testimonials. We've been doing sit-down interviews. We've been in a podcast class. Like, there's been a lot of training along the day. And Dr. Anna Marie Frank is going to be our first guest today, because we drew, like we said, in a lottery.
I saw it.
She was the one picked. And it's so cool because I know Dr. Anna Marie Frank. She's actually been on my other podcast, Learn from People Who Lived It Before. I've been on her podcast from Bakersfield, California.
Wow, okay.
Say hi to the founder of the Wellness Center, Happy Whole You, Dr. Anna Marie Frank. Wow.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
How about this, huh?
I know. I manifested it. I mean, I knew this was a lottery, and I literally visualized myself here earlier, and then I visualized my name being pulled out of the hat, and both things happened.
And today is her birthday.
It is.
And I know it worked, because then I walked in the room and I was looking through everybody. Out of the people, I said, she's going to be on the podcast.
You knew too.
I knew you were. I mean, you were involved. You participated, and sometimes I guess that energy maybe spilled over to your piece of paper that kind of jumped on Matthew's hand. I don't know.
Let's talk a little bit about what you're all about. You know, today we got to see this incredible presentation from Dr. Anna Marie Frank, and you were talking about, and this is where I want to start. You were talking about the way that our childhood shakes out, and the tremendous impact that has on us as adults. And so will you mind just revisiting the 3 stories? She had this slide up, Steve, that was just incredible, and it showed her in like 4th grade or 3rd grade, 6th grade, and like 8th grade. And every moment had this hit that it put on her, that kind of set this belief system up in her. So do you mind starting there? Because I think it's powerful for people to understand where you came from.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we all have a story that we tell ourselves, and a lot of times these stories are stemmed from childhood. And so what I was walking the audience through was this. One of the first stories was when I was in 2nd grade. I remember I would always read ahead during reading time, because if the teacher called on you, you'd have to read aloud, and I would try to make sure I knew the big words.
I resonated so wholly with you when you said that on the stage.
Because I didn't want to sound stupid, so it's like, okay, I had to sound out those big words. Okay, I know that big word. And I remember this day she called on me and asked me a question after we had already read some of whatever we were reading, and I didn't know the answer. And I remember her just pointing her finger at me, saying something along the lines of, "You'll never amount to anything if you don't learn how to read." And my little 8-year-old self was like, thinking, I know how to read. I just couldn't comprehend what I was reading. And I was like, wow, you're just so stupid. So that was one download. As an 8-year-old, I decided I was stupid. I wasn't smart enough. And I've carried that with me in my life. So that was one of the stories, one of the downloads. And then I go into another story. And for the sake of simplicity, ultimately, I'm the 4th of 5 children. And literally everything was my fault. Like, I would get things blamed on me all the time. So I always felt like I was in trouble. And there was this one time that there was this thing that the older kids asked me to go to your house, go grab this, go do that. And I just wanted to like be accepted. And so I went and I did the thing. I didn't know it was bad. I had no clue until my mom freaked out on me. And I like did not know what I did. But other than I was like, oh, you're always in trouble. Like, be careful. And then the last story I shared, and I know a lot of people can resonate with this, is junior high time. I showed up at school.
The worst time in human history for everybody.
Correct.
Right.
Yes. If you survive that, if you have survived that, you're already winning in life.
Yeah.
And I walked up to my group of friends, and they all just turned their backs on me. And I did not know what I had done. And that day, it was like I had no friends.
Oh, gosh.
And so what happens is we have these little moments where everything's fine and then something happens and we realize I'm not safe or I'm not smart. That's not available to me. People don't like me. I'm always in trouble. And we take these narratives and we step into adulthood and then we filter the world to validate that those things are true.
Yes.
Or we navigate to try to like avoid any of those situations. So anytime I walk into like a meeting with executives or, you know, professionals, I'm like, oh gosh, am I even smart enough to be in this room? And my confidence goes down. So I've had to really work at rewiring those stories, but we have to recognize where those stories come from to be able to extract the value gained to rewire them. And so that's what I talk to people about is rewiring the past, because if we can re-envision a future, we can re-envision how the past happened.
Can we though? Can we really rewrite the past? Can we rewire ourselves that way?
Yeah, and we can. And it's also, science proves this, it's called neuroplasticity. But I think what we get to do, and this is what I did that helped me, is I went back to those past moments and I extracted the value gained. So for example, I would never judge someone based on their education level. A value with me, I mean, I will seriously give me that street smart person. And if someone has, you know, the PhD, the doctorate and all that, I'm like, oh, that's rad. But to me, your education level doesn't like go up or down. Like I'm like, okay, cool. Like you went to school or you didn't. Okay. Like, so that was a good value gained for me, is not judging people based on their education. I'm always in trouble. Anytime I need to talk to an employee, I don't send them a message to say, I need to talk to you. Because immediately, whenever I used to get those messages from my boss, I was like,
oh my God, the anxiety was through the roof.
Yeah.
Something's wrong.
And even moments is like now, even though I run my own business and everything, if like a client's like, hey, I need to talk to you, I'm like, oh, like and then I have to remind myself, like, you're not in trouble. Everything's fine. You've helped this person so much. But I'll tell that employee like, hey, I need to talk to you about blah, blah, blah. Can you jump on my calendar?
So you're just a little bit more clear
Correct.
with people based on these experiences.
Because again, if I'm not clear, they'll make a story up in their own mind based on their past experiences of how they view authority, right? And we all do that. And then of course the last one of, you know, nobody likes me or people don't want to spend time with me. I'm like, the more the merrier. How many people can we bring into a room? I never want someone to feel left out. I want everyone to be invited to the party. Very important.
I'm curious about this process that you go through, because it seems like everybody that's listening and watching us right now, they have an opportunity, Steve, right, to sort of examine their own lives and look at the little dings that you took along the way. And I think what I love about your story more than other pieces of it is none of these are catastrophic, traumatic events. Nobody was murdered, nobody was killed, nobody died in a horrific car accident. Our friends turned our back on us in middle school, which happens all the time. We grew up thinking we were in trouble. I grew up thinking I was dumb. Like, these are things that they're small. They're what I think psychologists would call little T's, right? Like small traumas. And they impact you so fiercely unless you grab the values. So I'm curious about...
They're psychological traumas. They're actually a psychological concussion is
really?
What I've heard it called. Yeah, I've actually had my brain scanned by the Dr. Amen clinics. I have training by Dr. Daniel Amen. And what's interesting is when my brain was scanned, the blood flow in my brain shows up as someone with PTSD. Now, we think of someone with PTSD as somebody that went to war, somebody that has gone through very, very traumatic experiences. But let's think about our 8-year-old self. Let's think about that 12-year-old, 11-year-old self. It may not seem like some big trauma, but it really is in their eyes and in their moment. We can all look back as adults and say, oh, you know, but it does affect us. It affects our brain health. But with neuroplasticity, we can actually rewire our minds to be healthier. And actually what's interesting about our brains is, I always say our brain is the strongest pharmacy on planet Earth. We can distribute whatever chemicals we want based on our thoughts alone. But we can shift our biochemical makeup in 150 to 300 milliseconds by shifting a thought alone. So when I think back to my, second grade 8-year-old self, instead of viewing that, moment as, a bad thing, I view it as like, wow, I mean, I have a PhD, I have multiple certifications. Like, I have grown so much. Thank you to that teacher, because she actually gave me a gift to like work harder and to do these things that would have never gotten me to this point.
She could have done it a little differently.
She could have, but she didn't. And that's the thing.
They all seem to do it the same way. Dr. Anna Marie, what resonated with me is probably with the rest of the audience that each one of those steps, I think we could all relate. I think you said that, Matthew. And what I think is beautiful is that I've actually kind of gone back without really the proper help, somebody like yourself, and have gone back and digested a lot of that stuff, and really not put the blame on myself, but really put myself in a different scenario. Like, listen, I actually did that. Like, so sometimes you when you're younger, you're a little bit more defensive. So my big thing was second grade. I got the chicken pox when everybody was learning multiplication or division. I forgot which one it was. Could you imagine the trauma when I came back and they're doing like 2 weeks in second grade? That's like 2 years.
Lifetime.
And you're dipping the cotton ball
my gosh,
pink calamine lotion on your body.
And I think I literally I panicked. And ever since then, I was literally bad at math. I dubbed myself bad at math. But then I went back and I said, actually, I wasn't that bad at math. I was probably middle of the road. And that's really what I should have been. I don't really like math. And so anyways, I created this schema, and I went back and destroyed it by saying I wasn't that bad. I really wasn't that bad. I caught on. I was a little behind. And
Well, that begs the question, Dr. Anna Marie, what is the process to help people kind of unwire that stuff?
Well, first, we have to be willing to let go of the story we've been telling ourselves.
Okay, say that again. We have to be willing to let go of the story we've been telling. Because a lot of us, and I talk about this when I'm on the stage, is this idea of the story really serves you.
Yes.
The story really, really does reinforce all the things about you and to everybody else. And the thing about changing the story is when you change, they have to change too.
Yeah.
And that's really difficult for a lot of people. So jump off into that.
Yeah, I mean, the longer we hold on to the victim story, then the less we have to do, essentially.
Right.
If we can stay mad, and this is what we do, our egos step in and we stay mad. We stay blaming somebody else. And the longer we do that, the more we stay the same and we actually go backwards in life.
Interesting.
But if you allow yourself to let go of that victimhood, that story you've been telling yourself, then the crazy thing is that takes something, and then people have to actually change the way they're thinking about their life, the way they're speaking about their life, the conversations that they're having with others, who they're hanging out with. Are they moving their body and exercising? Are they eating healthy? I mean, you have to literally go to your foundations of health and start to change all of those things. And it's not necessarily changing. It's shifting into a version of yourself that you respect and that you love. I remember my psychiatrist told me once, you need to learn to love yourself. And I was thinking about that. And I was how am I supposed to love myself when I don't like myself? I'm out drinking. I don't have good relationships. I'm stupid. I don't have the close friendships I think I should have.
I'm always in trouble.
I'm always in trouble, right? I'm even in trouble because I don't love myself enough. You know what I mean? So it's again, we all have our stuff, and I think that it's on purpose. We're not supposed to get through this thing called life without the road bumps, and they are there to serve us. But it's whether you choose to react or respond to those road bumps and extract that lesson learned versus being a victim in it. That is going to be the difference of you living as your true authentic self and having energy every day and being grateful and just living your life in a way that you can feel good about and proud about versus being the person that is hiding behind some mask that you're putting on every day. And that's heavy. That's not a way to live. I've lived like that before, and I don't ever want to go back.
Steve, you got a final question for her, and then I have one wrap up.
I do. So, sidebar, besides your professional life, you got all this wealth and knowledge. What excites you about life? What do you like to do besides work?
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't feel like work is work. I love what I do.
Okay, you're professional. What really gives you that extra charge?
Oh, just being with my children.
Okay.
Yeah, I love being with my kids, and I feel like I live in my car because I'm literally driving them everywhere to volleyball and to all the practices. And at one point I did find myself being oh my gosh, I spent over an hour and a half in my car today. And then I was wait a minute, this is fantastic. I get to, one, they can't jump out of the car. Right. They have to hear me speak, and I get to ask them questions and have dialogue with them, which is beautiful. And then once I drop them off, I'm like onto my podcast or my audiobooks. So again, that was one just simple thing that I got to shift in my mind, and now it like lights me up. I love it. Like the time in my car with my children is fantastic. I know that may seem like a little thing, but I love it.
No, I think it's amazing. It's great. And me and Matthew share the love and actually of coaching of hockey. And I know we share that same experience. I used to say that and acknowledge that the time that you have with your son in the car back and forth, I think it's a lot of quality time. And even if you're not even saying anything, just to be in their presence, be in their energy, I think it's cool.
Process that practice, process that game, the lessons learned.
Do you guys go on vacations? Do you guys like to do, besides the sounds of sports, the regular stuff, do you guys do any adventurous stuff? I know you're from California.
Yeah, I mean, we love going to the beach, going to the ocean. We love playing volleyball together as a family. That's really fun for us as well. We travel back to Michigan quite a bit. My family's back there, and so going to Lake Michigan, it looks like an ocean. It's beautiful.
It's big enough.
And
Sounds like work hard, play hard. Sounds great.
I mean,
she's getting there, right?
Love it all.
Final question for me is, this experience I've noted today was for people who really enjoy being on a stage because they have something to offer the world. What do you love about being on the stage?
I think it's because it gives me an opportunity to cut through the noise and speak from my heart to other people's hearts about a topic that I wish I would have known. Like, I could cry right now. Like, I wish I would have known, even in my 20s, of what I know today. Because it would have, my life could look different. I'm happy with my life, but you know what I mean? Like, you never want anyone to go through the pain that you go through. So then, you stand on a stage when it's scary as hell to share what you have to share, because like I would give anything to take that pain away from someone else, Yeah. And so for me, that's what it's about. And, hanging out with people like you is also great. I love you guys. So
that's such a great answer.
That was beautiful.
Yeah,
really.
Such a great answer. Well, look, you all can find her online at happywholeyou.com. Happy Whole You is just an awesome wellness center. There's plenty of virtual options for people who watch our show here in the Valley.
Yeah.
I actually use Anna, and I just do my sessions virtually with her, which is incredible. I'm excited about where your future goes from here.
Thank you.
You're so talented, and your heart is in the right place, which is the key piece to this whole thing. And it's only upwards. So don't forget about me when you get up there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right, let's do this. We're going to take a really quick break. When we come back, we're going to sit down with either Heather or Courtney. We'll flip a coin and see what happens.
Or both, and also too a word from a couple of our sponsors we're going to throw into this show as well.
Okay, great. Give them some accolades.
Yes.
Who's going to be a part of the show?
Amy Richardson,
Yes.
Savvy Realty, and I believe
We should know our sponsors, Steve.
This is a new area, so we were working with it, giving them a little love.
Tutor Doctor.
Doctor.
Keystone Montessori.
Not Keystone.
No, well, now
because they're out too. Keystone. they weren't in this show, but anyways.
Max is laughing. He's like, Steve, just roll with it.
Okay, you're gonna see the commercials right now. How about that instead of guessing?
So good. Have a look, and we'll see you in a minute.
Buying or selling a home is one of the most important decisions you're going to make, so you deserve someone who truly cares about your journey. I'm Amy Richardson with the Savvy Realty Group and HomeSmart. Living and raising my family in Ahwatukee for nearly 20 years, this community isn't just where I work, it's my home. Growing up in the Midwest, I learned early the importance of connections and relationships. These values shape everything I do. From our initial conversation to long after you've settled into your new home, I'm here to provide ongoing support and guidance. From staging to cutting-edge marketing strategies, we expertly showcase your home to sell swiftly for the highest possible price. So if you're ready to buy or sell, please reach out to me. And remember, important decisions require savvy solutions.
Hi, I'm Kim Selchin, owner of Tutor Doctor of Ahwatukee, Chandler, and Gilbert. We understand every student is unique, which is why we meet them where they feel most at ease, whether online, at home, or in a public space. Our academic coaching is designed to help even the brightest students overcome organizational challenges, sharpen study skills, and build confidence, empowering them to achieve their best. From kindergarten to adult, we believe every student can be successful. We also have expert SAT and ACT coaches to help teens with college admissions and scholarships. I'm excited to learn how we can partner with your family to help today's learners become tomorrow's successful adults.
3, 2. Well, welcome back. It's episode number 61 of our YouTube and podcast series. We call it Move the Needle. What we do is we sit down with people in our community that are doing big things. And we're going outside of our community for our second guest. Our second guest is Heather Laganelli, and she lives and resides in Bakersfield, California. She runs a place called Local. Farm to Table. It sounds like a really cool restaurant that you have going on.
And
there.
a really cool last name.
Oh, thank
if I was to
you.
add that.
You like the Laganelli?
I do.
Yeah.
Like, really cool.
I feel like
last
we
name.
mess up this interview, somebody finds us and kills us, right?
No.
Oh
The
my
mob-
God.
The mob shows
Yeah,
up
yeah.
and just
But you said it
destroys
right.
us.
She said it right to your cover.
Don't,
Yeah.
just
did.
don't do me dirty.
I won't.
Yeah, and
Then
we'll
you're
be
in
fine.
trouble.
Yeah, then you might not be living.
Let's talk a little bit about you. You spent the whole day in this noted community. We've just had so many great learning lessons today, so many incredible speakers that have been talking about really all kinds of things. What has stood out from today for you?
The power of community and connection is always something that is valuable to me, and being able to see so many people in their greatness share from their heart has been super inspiring.
Has it made you want to step on the stage a little bit more? I mean, I know that you're out there in the Bakersfield community, you're on TV and you're in print and you do a lot of things socially, but did it inspire you to want to take a stage?
I speak often.
Okay.
I speak often on stages and in front of many
Okay,
people.
good.
I do a lot of motivational speaking, and
I didn't
I'm
know.
in this space. Yeah, it's not something that, it's not my number one priority in my life. I'm happy to share stories, and I think that's how it all starts, right? Like, everybody has a story, and we're all here to.
So what's
Hopefully.
yours?
Yeah,
What's
that's
the-
what I was
what's
going to say.
the- what's the Laganelli story?
I'm like, farm to table. I mean, talk about that. I mean, where'd this come from? I've got like so many questions.
Yeah.
Is that where-
Why restauranting?
Yeah, I mean, you
Is that a
didn't
thing?
take me
Is
as
that how
that
you say
person. Running
Oh, really?
Right, now you
Restauranting?
know, I just didn't, but it's okay.
No, I like it. I love it when I can surprise somebody. There's
Yeah.
something like really valuable in that.
Yeah, I'm surprised. So, what say you? Talk about farm to table. What is?
Well, I feel like my last name is pretty indicative of somebody who would eat well.
Yeah, I think
That is
so.
the
That's
clip.
why I wanted to say
That's-
that. Sure. And they live a long time. Mostly the heritage.
The
right?
Italians.
Yeah.
The Italians, they know where it's at when it comes to food and longevity
They do.
and quality of life.
Yes.
I'm not as, I wasn't brought up in a typical traditional Italian family. I feel like I was definitely more Americanized as a kid.
No sauce on the stove.
I mean,
regularly?
we had sauce on the stove. My mom calls it sauce. My dad calls it gravy, and there's like a little inter-family debate
Well, then
about
you're real.
that.
Then you're real Italian.
Is that
I
right?
mean, that's kind of traditional.
I classify myself as an Italian, and I know that there's many levels of Italian culture, and especially because of like where I was raised. So from Massachusetts, living in New Haven, Connecticut for college, I met many Italians in my day.
Yeah.
Many Italians.
I'm
and
from that neck of the woods as well.
I can hear the accent, literally.
So, and I know, and a lot of my good friends are from New Haven.
Oh,
Been down
yeah.
there, you know, Pepe's.
I was gonna say, are you Sally's or Pepe's?
Yeah, Pepe's.
Yeah.
Pepe, the famous pizza place that
Oh,
everybody
really?
goes to. And then
What are you?
Oh, of course, Pepe's.
And then there's
Yeah.
a cool place that it's called. Is it called Toads? The place that everybody plays the bar.
Yes, Toads.
Toads.
Yes.
Really cool place. But sorry, we're getting completely off topic, but very exciting stuff. Toads.
You guys are bonding here.
This
I
is-
love that.
Everybody has played at Toads. If you go to New Haven, there's this bar. I mean, name any rock and roll band, your repertoire, they've played there. It's one of those places.
It's very unassuming too. It's
Yes.
kind of like a hole in the wall place. It doesn't. You wouldn't expect it to be this like
I mean, like
home
Led
to so
Zeppelin
many
played there.
artists.
It's
Really?
like a place like that.
Yes.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yes, it's great. I think New Haven has a lot of history and culture, and like there's so much depth to the East Coast. And I'm obviously biased because
Yeah.
I've lived there for many years of my life.
So,
and
what segues you from the East Coast
rope
to the
this in,
West
Matthew.
Coast,
Okay.
where you are, rolling out low-cal farm to table? I mean, tell us about that journey.
so I went to school to become an art therapist, a double
art
major,
therapist?
double major in art and psychology.
Got it.
Really
Oh, that's
passionate.
cool.
Yes, really passionate about art and people and connectivity and like why people do what they do. And through that, I met a guy in college, and I ended up falling in love. We dated for a couple of years, and then we moved out to Bakersfield. That's where his family was from and where he was pretty much raised. And then we stayed together for 14 years. I went
my separate way, and I was a year into the restaurant at the time. And so
you guys were in it together?
No, it was my thing the whole
Okay,
time.
good.
I can rewind a sec too. I just chose to stay in Bakersfield because I felt so deeply connected to the community there, and I wasn't ready to give up on the restaurant at that phase. A year into a restaurant, any business, when you build a business, the first 3 years are some of the most challenging years, and I knew I was in
Living
it.
it.
Yeah. So passion-wise, from an artist standpoint, I feel like food is an extension of creativity, and connecting through food and community is what I think makes life special.
Especially if it's good.
Yes.
So
Yes.
why locale?
I like the play on words.
Yeah,
So,
because SoCal.
location on coordinates on a map, like where are you at? Like if you look up the definition of locale, it's like a spot
locale,
or
yeah.
a place to be. And I feel like my place is the place to be.
Yeah, but is it also
Low.
healthy?
Yeah.
Because low calorie is
I
what
thought
I'm thinking.
that's-
Like, there's so
see,
many plays on words.
I feel
Yeah.
like you could Google my name, Heather Laganelli, and find so many podcasts on me trying to like unpack why people think that. And it's a disservice to our business often because people think that we're too healthy versus like the reality is we just locally source our ingredients, and I make food from my heart, and our team is in line with creating memorable experiences through food.
Like what?
We've done like dining in the dark experiences.
What does that mean?
Everybody gets a blindfold or like an eye mask, and you wouldn't know what you're going to eat. So
I don't know if I'd go there.
5 or
wouldn't go
6
there?
courses.
That just sounds so exciting.
It's super fun.
Food is scary for me. I like food that I know. I'm like.
You have
I
to
don't
build
like
a
stranger
trust.
food.
So I've been in the community for 10 years. This business has been in business since July 2015. And once there's that trust there, trust is like a huge component to everything that we
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
And once that trust is there, especially through food, you would be surprised with what you'd say yes to me for.
Okay. Yes. I trust you. Yes. I'll try it out.
Let's go.
I'll try.
What else would you do blindfolded?
Yeah. Whatever she wants.
What-
Yeah, oh.
That was quick. That was like a 2-minute trust level. I'm applauding that.
I'm a yes guy.
Max Rapid, that's the clip right there.
I'm a yes guy.
Oh my God, so good.
So how many years has it been going now? How many?
10 years. So 10 years
Wow.
in the restaurant
I was
industry.
gonna say, what's your long-term plan? But you're already.
I had a
in the
5-year
long-term.
goal.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're already into the long term.
I had a 5-year goal. So my thought was, so my backstory is artist, right? I always knew from the moment like I can remember. I was a photographer for a long time. I used to do like wedding photography, and my parents gave me a camera when I was like 7 and got on a plane to Florida with my brother by ourselves. This was like normal
big deal.
then, kind of. Like
sure.
the airlines would be like, yeah, okay, child, come with me.
The
And
flight attendant took great care
there's
of it.
there's nothing. We can't do that these days.
No,
It's
yeah.
not common. And when I got home and they developed the film, because that was the day and age, there was 3 rolls of clouds and rainbows, and like just me observing life and having this ability to share the lens that I was looking at life through via camera was just like a part of me innately. And then throughout my life, I really transitioned into many forms of art, like painting, drawing, food, expression through food. And I feel like art is such a big part of my life. And even in our space right now, we have a
I was
mural.
going to ask, is there artwork
Yes.
that you've created in your space?
So there's an art gallery in our back dining room. It hosts over 150 pieces of work right now, and it's all community driven. And then we also have a mural space. It's called Mural Alley Bakersfield, and it was inspired by the Wynwood walls in Miami, those walls that change out. So it's a rotating art space. It's public facing, and we've hosted over 350 artists throughout our community and even from other areas to showcase their capabilities
So you
and
must
talents.
love this Roosevelt area down here
I
where it's
love
just
it.
painted everywhere.
I love it.
Right?
I love
it's such
it.
a cool
Cool
part
down
of
here.
Phoenix.
I love
down
it.
here.
We just painted a mural in our front dining room last week. One of the artists that curates the gallery in the back, her name is Laurel Powell, and her business is Powell Curated Goods, and she never had painted a mural before. And I was like, hey girl, I feel like the back dining room is a really amazing expression of art, and it's unfortunate that the front dining room doesn't reflect that. And I was like, would you be interested in painting something? And she was like, oh, I've never done it. And we just completed it a couple of days ago, and it's been really fun to see how many lives can be touched through art and through a community space that's rooted in like passion for people.
What if I show up? I got a road. My next destination is Bakersfield, California. I'm looking to get some eats.
Why do you say it like that?
What?
Bakersfield, California.
How would you prefer?
I was just curious.
It feels like that Bakersfield.
Like it has like a.
Yeah, it has a thing.
Yeah.
Like the Baker Boys.
Interesting.
Do people soften it in Bakersfield?
I was just curious.
Oh.
I couldn't help but ask.
So if they're gonna go to Bakersfield and they're gonna take in locale, what's one of your favorite things to order on the menu?
So whenever I'm hungry, I come up with creations. I feel like this is a common thing in life, right?
Yeah.
Especially late night for some reason. So one day I was really hungry and I didn't want to eat any of the things that we had on our menu because I had been for so long. And I came up with this dish that's a sweet potato and Brussels sprout bowl. And it's made with a garlic aioli, applewood smoked bacon, Gouda, and then a caramelized or crystallized cheddar. And then there's pecorino romano like sprinkled on it and an egg.
Sounds terrible.
Ooh,
It's
no,
really
that
good.
sounds good.
It's so good. It's very creative.
Right down the street after the show.
This is
If we were in Bakersfield,
Yeah, yeah.
we
I
would
know,
totally
I
do
know.
that. Yeah.
So I'm going to finish up. I got one
Yes.
question. So
Yeah, hit her.
the art, you're in the art world. For the audience out there, what song best describes you and your journey right now?
Oh, we learned this last night. Actually, we didn't really learn this night. We went to dinner last night, and our server, sorry to interrupt,
No,
and our server
Yeah, Matthew,
came up
what's
to us.
your favorite song, Matthew?
Hold on, I'm not going to tell you
Just kidding.
mine. But this server came up to us and he said, whatever the #1 hit song was on the Billboard Hot 100, the week you were born is your song.
Is it?
And yours was
Lady
by Kenny Rogers.
Oh, you're my lady.
And she didn't know it totally, but she listened to it last night.
I
but-
know it. I just
Really?
it wasn't like, oh, I know all the lyrics right away.
Well,
yeah.
come on, you probably haven't heard Lady in a long time.
It's been a minute.
That
What
was-
is the song though, that you would say embodies Heather Laganelli?
Locale.
There's so okay, so I feel there's so many songs, and one that comes to mind right off the top of my head would be a Grace Vanderpool song. It's called
Grace Vanderpool, okay?
Vanderpool. Yeah, that's her name.
Max, can you look that
Beautiful
up?
Life, I think it's called.
Max knows everything. If Max is puzzled, then we have to look it up. Max
She's
is
good.
our
Grace Vanderpool, I know her.
I'm pretty sure it's
Oh, you do?
Beautiful
Okay.
Life, and
Oh, that's a great song.
You even know the song?
I know
too?
the song for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the dark. I wish I have to go home and hear
It's
it
a
now.
very girly.
Okay,
Like, I
so I
mean,
didn't hear it.
this was her. The artist is eclectic and she covers lots of different styles. And that song is just, I think it's special. So
There you go. That's
There you
a great
go.
answer.
Well, look, thank you for jumping on with us
course.
today. Thanks for taking in noted. Thanks for being such a great companion. Like literally, you've been the most incredible wingman I have ever experienced in my life. You're just so
Thank you.
generous to your friend, Dr. Anna Marie, and you can just see how much you care about her.
Heather, say that
you.
last
Really
name
cool.
one for the audience again.
Laganelli.
Laganelli.
All right, and the next time you're in Bakersfield, look up Locale Farm to Table, and you can have yourself some yummy eats
Or just follow us on Instagram
There
at
you go.
for
Locale
fun.
Eatery
'Cause
Bakersfield.
you do some good stuff.
We share a lot of stories around food. Yeah, there's lots of really great information on there and just storytelling in general.
We'll link in the show notes. How about that?
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Cortney McDermott's going to be sitting right here. We'll see you in a minute.
Cortney.
Buying or selling a home is one of the most important decisions you're going to make, so you deserve someone who truly cares about your journey. I'm Amy Richardson with the Savvy Realty Group and HomeSmart. Living and raising my family in Ahwatukee for nearly 20 years, this community isn't just where I work, it's my home. Growing up in the Midwest, I learned early the importance of connections and relationships. These values shape everything I do. From our initial conversation to long after you've settled into your new home, I'm here to provide ongoing support and guidance. From staging to cutting-edge marketing strategies, we expertly showcase your home to sell swiftly for the highest possible price. So if you're ready to buy or sell, please reach out to me. And remember, important decisions require savvy solutions.
Hi, I'm Kim Selchin, owner of Tutor Doctor of Ahwatukee, Chandler, and Gilbert. We understand every student is unique, which is why we meet them where they feel most at ease, whether online, at home, or in a public space. Our academic coaching is designed to help even the brightest students overcome organizational challenges, sharpen study skills, and build confidence, empowering them to achieve their best. From kindergarten to adult, we believe every student can be successful. We also have expert SAT and ACT coaches to help teens with college admissions and scholarships. I'm excited to learn how we can partner with your family to help today's learners become tomorrow's successful adults.
Welcome back. It's segment number 3 of our Move the Needle YouTube and podcast series. I'm Matthew. This is Steve. And for those that have just joined us because you were like, look, I really just am here for Cortney McDermott. We are on the set of Noted today, downtown Phoenix. We've had this incredible speakers experience today. And one of the greatest speakers that I know is our third and final guest today, Cortney McDermott. 2-time author, TEDx speaker, mind-body expert. She just put on a clinic for us earlier today on the stage, which was really cool because I actually have never had an opportunity to see Cortney speak live. Yeah, I've never met her before either. This is our first time. It's good to see you. Courtney and I actually go back a few years.
I know. So I'm the one sitting here like all curious. I have no. I told her.
So you asked the first question. So I want to know what's on your mind.
So Courtney, what's your last name?
McDermott.
McDermott. Where are you originally from? Tell us your story.
Here we go.
Okay, I'm originally from Southside Chicago.
Okay.
And I grew up there, but I moved overseas, when I was 20. I moved to England, and then after that I moved to France, and then I moved to Italy, and I lived there over half my life. Wow. And then I just moved back to the States, to San Diego, but still go back and forth a lot, but yeah.
Because everyone wants to know, like, how did you get here? So, and how did you get there? And so that's the journey. So this is your second book?
Yes, this is my second book.
And what is this about?
This book is about human potential. It's basically about how to use your brain and your body for what you want instead of what you don't. And I love it because it's really simple. It's really accessible. It's something that anyone can just pick up and don't have to like fall asleep reading. It's something that you can really get into. And it's direct experience from my life and working with clients and working on stages all over the world, and also people's reactions to these books, right? And how they've then created a lot of alchemy in their lives as a result of understanding these basic operating systems in their brains and bodies.
So somebody simple like me, can you give me the
I thought you were going to give me a high five.
I'll give you a high five.
Okay, high five it. Okay.
No, you did one of those before too. Can you give me the Cliff Note version of that? What would you tell me? Like, so tell me, like, yeah, shorten that up. Make that make sense to me,
okay.
Mr. Simple Mind over here.
Okay.
All right. So Cliff Note version, the easiest way to think about what's going on in your life is that your directed consciousness is determining your experience. That's kind of the central conclusion of a lot of my work. And let's bring it down for a second, because consciousness, right? Sometimes we talk about consciousness and it's kind of a big word. And another way of thinking about that is your awareness, your attention, your directed attention is really, it matters. That's one of the things I love to say in the real literal sense of it's creating matter. So again, I love to bring in the science and connect the different sciences so that people can understand, again, this isn't just woo-woo. This isn't stand in front of a mirror and say, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. This is a true understanding of these operating systems and these operating panels, if you will, that you're walking around with, how to use them for what you want instead of what you don't. And I think we just don't get that instruction in school, and it's so important, and that's where I come in.
So let me piggyback on his question. In your talk today, you explained this great example of a box. Let's start there.
Okay.
Because that is a really easy way to understand what you're talking about. So break down the box.
Okay. So about 7 years ago, more or less, I decided that I was going to ditch traditional planning, business planning and life planning. And I went to the local grocery store. I got a cardboard box, and I cut out a square that was a little bit bigger than the size of my head. And I drew some lines through it horizontally and vertically so that I'd have 12 little squares for the 12 months of the year. And I proceeded to put some dreams in there, some pretty bold dreams. I put that I wanted to write and publish my first book, give a TEDx talk, and even that I wanted to be invited as a speaker on Richard Branson's Private Island Necker. And all of those dreams came true. And I found myself getting increasingly curious as to the mechanics behind that. You know, how does that happen? How was it? What was happening there? How did I direct my attention, my awareness in a way that fueled those? And so that fuels a lot of my talks and the conversations that I have around the world. It's one example. I have so many from my work of things like that.
Is this like vision boarding? Is this like that?
I think it's a little different in the sense that lots of times people go in, well, first of all, vision boarding, I feel like, is one of those things that has gotten a little diluted in a way, because people think that first we hear about it all the time, and it just becomes one of those things. It's almost like an extra thing that you have to do.
Right.
versus something that's really alive in you. And that's why the cardboard box story is, it was something that was alive in me. What's alive in you, right? It's understanding and feeling into that and really connecting with what's your way, because your way's going to be different, right? Different strokes for different folks. But it's really getting into that frequency of feeling it in those ways. But I think another really important thing, and there were many important kind of indicators, I think, of success in that, was I left space. I left breathing room. I like to say it was oxygen for the fire of my dreams. But I also kept it really simple. I feel like with things like vision boards, people can go out and they've got to do all these things, like look online for all this stuff. I literally just grabbed a box and wrote some words. I did use fluorescent markers. And I do think that was a huge indicator of, totally critical.
Seriously,
totally critical.
That's my question.
Yeah.
Is there a magic of writing things down to besides just thinking it? Is it thought and physicalness?
There's a lot of science that would support that. Yeah, that would tend to support that. And I personally think there's a lot of power in the word, written and spoken. But it's, again, the undiluted, or the less diluted the word is. And that's, again, why I left space, or the reason why I think it's so important to demuck, right? Get the other crap out of the way so that your vision can start to come to life. And just because it's, obviously, if you've got a really messy room, right? And you've got this cool book in the room, but you can't find the book because it's buried under 1,000 other things, right? And it's really kind of, okay, wait, I'm going to clean this up a little bit so this can emerge. It's been there the whole time. It was there the whole freaking time, but how do I bring it to the surface? That makes sense?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, so somebody like myself that's trying to like digest just a lot of this, like, how does somebody like even like come to somebody like you, and I guess even with specific questions on that, like, and it's almost like confusing to me, if that makes sense.
For sure.
Like,
I think it's a concept that can be heady and hard to get your head around, but then once you have that aha moment with it, it's like, oh, this makes sense.
So
to me now I get this.
Yeah, because I mean, you hear about these people that write books that just like, it's almost like it's magic. You just think it, you write it, and it happens. I mean, there is more to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I guess, what I'm getting at. Like,
absolutely, there's more to it. Yeah, and I think it's really that, again, clear, inspired action, right? If you're talking about that specifically. But I love the fact that you said, well, if someone like me comes to you with a question, and questions are critical. That's one of the things that I was talking about in my presentation today, the questions you're asking. But we hear that kind of thing, and we think, okay, yeah, right. But again, I like to deliver it with the science, right? There's a part of your brain, it's called the reticular activating system. Its sole function is to find the answers to the questions you're asking predominantly. And you may not be aware of them. In fact, most people are not aware of their questions, right? And unfortunately, we ask a lot of stupid questions inside. You hear people saying, things like, why are all the good ones taken? Well, they're not. Like, I can definitely tell you they're not all taken, right? Or some people say, how come they can't lose the weight, right? They're just asking questions that are enlisting this fundamental operating system to look for the answers, to find the corresponding matches in their environment. So that's a key example, what you just said. So if someone comes to me, it's like, let's understand some of these basic principles that you are walking around with. You are a supercomputer. Everything in technology is based on what you can do, and it's like the tiniest fragment. It's the least bit of what you can do. So the reticular activating system is a great example, and it's kind of a boring one at this point. I've been talking about it for years, but it's a great example because it's like, you're walking around with the greatest search engine ever created. It's infinitely more powerful than Google or any of the other stuff that we're looking at, but it's misdirected. And part of that is because we're not taught how to use it. We don't even know that we have it. Lots of people don't even know. So that's where my work comes in. It's like, I just want to make it simple and accessible. And here's one thing, the questions. So thanks for asking the question in the question.
Well, I'm already intrigued enough. I mean, again, I look at that book, and again, it looks like you could really, I guess you want to digest it, but you can get through it. It's not like something that's you're going to lose track of, or kind of get lost. And it looks like you can get through that pretty good. And the principles, like you say, you lay them out pretty simply, and so we can understand it.
Yeah, we've gotten that feedback loads. We have hundreds of testimonials about these books, and the second one was just explosive. The first one too. I was going to say the third. I'm actually writing the third, but anyhow,
number 3.
The second one, we get these testimonials all the time. That's one of the biggest things that we hear back, even from the stage, is, oh my God, you made that so simple. Like, this is a very difficult thing, but you just talked about it in a way that I got it. And if we can't get it, and if the person explaining isn't able to transmit that, then what's the purpose, right?
It's
just,
worthless almost.
so that is one of the main feedbacks we've gotten.
Yeah, a lot of these topics are so deep that, again, a lot of times you're reading it, people are talking like, whew, right
and
over
it goes
your head.
right
It's
over
like,
your head.
time
Well,
out.
you did this in the presentation today. There were 3 questions that you kind of ended with, and you or 3 main points you said. You remember that last slide?
Yeah.
Of course you do. You wrote the thing. But like, walk us through that simplicity, that process. Because one
Right.
of them was this idea of being simple.
Right. So the talk was based on 3 key findings in 3 separate fields: epigenetics, neuroscience, and quantum theory. And all 3 of these findings point to one conclusion, and that was what I was expressing a moment ago, which is that your directed consciousness is determining your experience. And so the question then becomes, like, the great question is, how do we direct that more efficiently, more effectively, right? And so that's when I brought the cardboard story from the beginning back in, because you'll notice a few things about that story. One, it was simple, man. It was simple. I didn't create a 5-year plan in PowerPoint and Excel. It was just I grabbed a cardboard box and some fluorescent markers. Again, do you think that was key? No, the fluorescent. They were hot pink,
Red ink,
hot yellow,
never gonna
hot
happen for
yellow.
you.
Yeah. And so it was simple. The second thing was I left space. That's what I was talking about. That oxygen that fuels the fire of our dreams. I left space. And, space is the wellspring out of which all matter is created ultimately. And we call it space. We don't actually really know what it is, because space is not emptiness. But anyhow, I digress. The third point in that conclusion there was that there was a play. It was play, right? We're playing right now. We love this. So this is play. This is how we get to show up and play with cool people doing cool things in the world, right? And that I think is huge. When you see teams, when you see people who are playing, they're the ones who are rocking it. Hands down. And I dedicated a whole chapter to play, because I think a lot of so-called high performers, they really struggle with that. It's like, I know I did for a really long time. Like, I don't even know what play looks like anymore.
I talked about this when I was on stage here today, that I was challenged 4 years ago to get back to knowing, because I do. I was challenged in this idea that I was a transitional character, but I didn't put this in the talk, but I was also challenged to play. I had really genuinely forgotten how to have fun. My life had become so serious that I forgot about the fun, and not just the fun, but general humor in my life, and instituting the power of laughter in so many cases, and not just the ability to laugh at other things, but the ability to laugh at myself. And so I really, really enjoy what you talk about, right? And it's always been one of those things where I feel like I could chop it up with Cortney for 3 hours, and I would still have 1,000 questions that I want to ask her.
Well, I got one of my finals. She's written 1, 2, 3 books.
Almost
Not
3.
three.
Or
Yeah.
3's on the way.
I'm
When you do your movie, what's your movie about? What does your movie look like for the audience when you make your movie?
That is so fun, because right now actually we're working on a pitch for Netflix.
See, there you go.
And we're having a call about this next week actually. And my movie, are you talking about my movie?
The movie,
or
whatever
the
you're talking
movie?
about. You keep going.
The movie. I think the movies, right, are how we see our potential, right? And where we see that going, again, in a playful spirit of like, wow, this is something I'd love to step into, right? And so when I see movies, it's not just for myself, it's for other people. Like today, for instance, there was this lottery and 3 people got chosen, and I saw the movie. I had the movie in my head of that happening, and it happened like that. And so I love the question
exactly
of the
what Anna Marie
movie,
said.
right? Because it's so fun. I love the question of the movie because it's like, we are, oh gosh, this is so beautiful. I was talking to this woman the other day, really amazing human out in Italy. And she's originally from Mexico. And she said that her grandfather used to tell her, you're going to be watching movies every day, all day long in your head, and you get to choose what those movies are. It was her abuelito. And yeah, her little grandpa, and he taught her that she gets to choose the movie she's running in her head. So yeah, I mean, mine change all the time because I love changing characters and playing, knowing all the while that I'm not the character.
And then the Netflix, if you want to elaborate on that a little bit, what's going on?
Not just yet. We're in the infant stages of that, but I'm very excited about it. Yeah, I'm very excited about it because it's there's a lot of IP around it. So, but yeah, we're very pumped. Yeah.
Love that. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
It'll be a good one. We'll make sure and let people know when it's out. The Change from Within, is that the first
Well,
book?
the first book is Change Starts Within You,
Change Starts Within
which I
You.
could not believe that title had not been taken, but
Right.
it did not been
Right.
taken, which is great. And that's Unlock the Confidence to Lead with Intuition. And that's also really important because when I talk about concepts like confidence or happiness or all of those things, I have a very different take on it. You'll see that in the book, what it means, what it really means.
I
Yeah.
love both books. And
Thank you.
I listen to books, and what I loved is that you narrated your own books.
Yes.
It's such a good deal.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Such a
I'm gonna
good
have to
deal.
look.
Yeah.
I love listening too, so
Yeah.
I
It's
thought
so
I was going
good.
to read it. I think I'm
Well, give yourself
Yeah.
permission. It's such an easy read. It's like a couple 100 pages, and it's so easy to digest. She has an incredible awareness about her to offer this content in a way that people
Yeah.
can actually
Thank
tune
you.
into it and digest it. So
Thank
she's
you.
a
Thank
good.
you, Matthew.
Did you
Thank you,
design this
Steve.
yourself?
Yes, that's all my branding. We've kept it kind of, solidly like that throughout. Yeah.
Confident, be
yeah.
happy, be you.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, what do you think, Steve? This was a fun
It
episode.
was a great episode. Downtown Phoenix, a lot of excitement. Our guest, which is pretty much every show,
Yeah.
really made it. Everybody had a ton of energy. Again, came at it different ways, but I loved it. It was a lot of fun, and everybody, hopefully our audience got a lot out of it, because there was every one of these guests, pack an incredible punch.
You would pay $50,000 collectively to listen
that's
to
what
each
I'm
one of these
saying,
women
so-
get on a stage and
No,
talk.
I'm-
And this one was free.
Yeah, I'm very, very impressed. So,
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Well, and I really want to say thanks to Kira. She is just the brains behind Noted. And when I came to her with this idea today of like, hey, would it be cool if we did a podcast at the end of it? She was all about it.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful to
Super
Kira
cool.
for allowing us to kind of infiltrate her space today. And we're not done yet. Now we have to go downstairs, and there's still more work to do. So
I'm done.
You're
I'm
done.
I'm going to dinner. We were talking about way too much food for me.
Oh,
Yeah, now
right?
it's time
I
for
know.
you to
I
eat.
was getting hungry too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
Thank
Soon
you,
we
guys.
will eat. Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you.
We really appreciate
Thank
it.
you. You're doing great work.
And again, if y'all don't mind, please share this with a friend. We really appreciate it. It's super helpful for us. And thanks again to Dr. Anna Marie Frank at Happy Whole You. Thank you to Heather Laganelli at Locale Farm to Table. And of course, the incomparable Cortney McDermott and both their books.
And I'm not going to forget our sponsors, Amy Richardson, Savvy Realty. I know I forgot. We have a new client coming aboard, Duenas Eden Cravata, and I think they're going to be, I believe, on this show. So
3 great names.
Yes, 3 great names, and it's a family attorney firm coming on board. So we welcome them into our Move the Needle, and so
Welcome.
Yes, welcome.
In the spirit of Heather
Yes,
Laganelli.
Heather
Welcome.
Laganelli.
Benvenuto.
Oh, look at
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Benvenuto,
I mean, she lived in Italy
benvenuto,
20 years.
benvenuti. Onestamente.
Yeah.
You say Move the Needle
Benvenuti.
for our crowd. Move the Needle.
Move the needle. Sai, questa non è un'espressione che esiste in italiano esattamente. Cioè, it's not like an expression that Italians have. I would say.
How many? We have the second person that tried to duck out on this.
Yeah.
and
No,
that's
but it's
Matthew.
really not. Move the
I know, I'm just
needle
kidding.
would be. I'm trying to think of the closest approximation. It'd be something like. I don't know. I'm gonna really have to think about
Okay,
that
get
because
back to
there's a translation. I'll find it.
You're not the only one we've stumped. We've actually stumped.
Well, we
another-
asked the Spanish teacher to come up with Move the Needle, and there isn't a direct translation
there
there.
isn't.
Yeah.
This is
She-
a
she
very.
worked on it. She did.
But
She
I
come up
think
with
what
something.
Steve is looking for is
Move
what's the
the
word
needle.
for move in Italian?
Yes.
What's the word for the,
Muovi.
and what's the word for needle?
Yeah, what would you?
Okay.
If it was,
I mean,
if that was the name
But
of the
she
show.
wouldn't say that. Yeah, it's
you wouldn't- it
like
wouldn't be the name
no,
of the
it
show?
just wouldn't. No, it wouldn't make any sense at all.
So we'll leave it off.
So let's stay in America.
We are.
Okay.
We're
When
here.
when we go to Italy, we'll change the name.
Yeah, okay, you're gonna have to
there you
change the name. I'll help you with the branding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
go. Promise?
Thanks to everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.